how could Shakur beat him if he can't hurt him? That would be my question.
Listen, you don't have to hurt him, you just have to outscore him. You know, Shakur takes a good shot though. You know, he's a specialist. That's why some fights that he doesn't look good in, because he's so superior. And it's boring watching sometimes. But he's a specialist. He knows what he's doing. He's hard to beat.
How you beat Teofimo Lopez? Because there's a blueprint out to beat Teofimo Lopez. Ain't no blueprint out to beat no damn Shakur Stevenson. Lopez don't know how to beat Shakur Stevenson. Ain't no damn blueprint. But I tell you who got a blueprint on how to beat Lopez. That's Shakur Stevenson. He know how to beat Lopez. Yeah, Lopez don't know how to beat him. Hell no.
It's going to be a great fight. I think that I keep mentioning Mayweather versus Castillo. If you haven't seen that fight, watch that fight. Castillo beat Mayweather with the same style. You got to remember, Shakur Stevenson has brittle hands.
Yeah, that's what.
Let's not forget that. So that's exactly why I asked him, are your hands okay? Because we don't want no excuses.
Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez are set to clash on January 31st, and boxing legends are already delivering shocking predictions. Experts dissect every angle of this high-stakes matchup, debating speed against power, defensive mastery versus aggression, and which fighter's ring IQ will prevail under pressure.
Two skillful fighters, two talented fighters, you know, two fighters that are at a high skill level that will compete in the sweet science.
Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez.
That's a good damn fight too. See, that fight is skill for skill, as good as this fight. But they just haven't been around long enough to prove themselves yet. But skill for skill, as far as equality, to me, Bud and Canelo are equal because when they're in their career, because how accomplished they are. These two guys are also equal when they're in their career, because they're accomplished, but not as accomplished as these two, but they're still equal accomplished. You understand me? So those are two good damn fights and one boxing needs.
Boxing legends and analysts are split, but fully invested in the Stevenson versus Lopez showdown. Some see Stevenson's precision, defense, and control as the keys to neutralizing danger, while others believe Lopez's explosiveness and unpredictability can change the fight in an instant. Every breakdown highlights a different edge, fueling a passionate debate about which style prevails when elite skill meets raw firepower on the biggest stage.
It does go back and forth. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Tio, what I do is I remove all the negative about what we know about Tio. I remove all of that and then I look at the fighter. That still is a good fighter. You know what I mean? Strong, fast, you know what I mean? Explosive, unpredictable, and he can hurt you. And every time he's had to step up, he really did step up. You know what I mean? But besides the Cam fight, but he stepped up. So I think Shakur. Yeah, my first mind tells me Shakur, and I thought about it. Yeah, I'm picking Shakur by decision, but because this is fighting, anything can happen. You can't count Tio out.
Anthony Cuba expects Stevenson versus Lopez to be a full-throttle spectacle, with fans as the ultimate winners. He highlights the clash of Stevenson's precision against Lopez's unpredictability, noting that Lopez thrives when he can stay elusive and stir up chaos. In the end, Cuba believes the fight will come down to heart and determination, with both champions leaving everything in the ring for an unforgettable battle.
And what about Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson?
That is a great fight, and I think the fans will win on that one 100%, because two top-tier fighters like that, it's just gonna be fireworks the whole time. Shakur so sharp, and then Teofimo so random. You know, he's really sharp, but he could be so elusive if he gets into it, and I feel like that's his best state, and I feel like that would be the best way for him to beat Shakur Stevenson. So I honestly think it depends on who wants it more, honestly, because that is two great champions going up against each other, and that's gonna be a great fight.
Tim Bradley backs Shakur Stevenson, describing him as too technical and too savvy for Teofimo Lopez. He believes Stevenson holds the blueprint for victory and suggests Lopez lacks the tools needed to solve the problems Shakur presents in the ring.
You already know the damn rest. Can somebody please tell me how you beat Shakur Stevenson? Please, somebody tell me how the hell Or do you beat some damn Shakur Stevenson? I'll wait. How you beat Shakur Stevenson? Can somebody please, on the contrary, please tell me how the hell do you beat Teofimo Lopez? How you beat Teofimo Lopez? Because there's a blueprint out to beat Teofimo Lopez. Ain't no blueprint out to beat no damn Shakur Stevenson. Lopez don't know how to beat Shakur Stevenson. Ain't no damn blueprint. But I tell you who got a blueprint on how to beat Lopez. That's Shakur Stevenson. He know how to beat Lopez. Yeah, Lopez don't know how to beat him. Hell no.
Moreover, Eddie Hearn calls Shakur Stevenson one of boxing's most underrated elite talents, ranking him among the top 5 pound-for-pound purely on skill. At a young age, Stevenson is already a 3-division world champion, aiming for a historic 4. Hearn highlights that Teofimo Lopez thrives under high stakes, framing the bout as far from routine, a sold-out Madison Square Garden showdown between two of their generation's best, meeting at the peak of their abilities with everything on the line.
I think Shakur is massively underrated in terms of his achievements and his ability. Everyone in boxing knows how good Shakur is. He is pound for pound, top 5 in terms of quality. But look at the achievements of the young man. At 28 years of age, he's already a 3-division world champion. This is to become a 4-division world champion. Quite remarkable. And Teofimo always rises to the occasion. Sometimes you see a little bit of a lackluster performance when he's not motivated, when there isn't kind of any legacy on the line. This is different. This is a sold-out Madison Square Garden between two of the elite fighters of our generation. And the best thing about this fight is we're seeing them in their prime.
Meanwhile, Sean Porter gives Lopez the edge, pointing to his versatility and ability to adjust, particularly at 140 pounds. He believes Lopez has multiple paths to victory against Stevenson's disciplined, structured style, making him a dangerous and well-rounded threat in the matchup.
I like what Pierre said, you know, the twitchiness, that athleticism that Teofimo has is what gives someone like Shakur problems, because it throws off his timing.
Yep.
Shakur is flat out amazing. I've watched this kid. He can find anybody's time.
Right.
So if you give him the space with just like feints and stuff like that, he gonna still pick it up and he's still gonna find it. I got a feeling this thing is not gonna be boring and dry.
Michael Conlon hails Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson as one of the most exciting matchups in boxing today. He calls it a clash of elite skill, though he notes it might divide fans expecting non-stop action. In the ring, Stevenson blends patience, intelligence, and precise timing, controlling the pace like a chess master rather than relying on sheer aggression.
Shakur is probably going to start stepping up, and Tio's going to try to hit him, and it's not going to work. And then Shakur might start. The thing about Shakur is a very good, a real good counterpuncher, really sharp, real sharp with the counterpunch. He sneaks those punches in, you know, and that's the ones that hurt the most, when he just sneaking them in when you're not supposed to hit him. So I definitely feel like, I feel like Shakur is going to beat him comfortably. Now, not knockout, but comfortable 12 rounds for sure.
Have you sparred Lopez before?
I never sparred Tio, though. Never sparred Tio.
Okay.
Teddy Atlas is also excited about the matchup, spotlighting the athleticism and talent on both sides. He commends Stevenson's skill set and agility, while emphasizing Lopez's explosive power and physical tools. Atlas gives Lopez a slight edge because of that power, but expects a compelling and closely contested fight.
You know one thing that I love about this fight, Bud? Shakur's very athletic, very talented. So is Teofimo. He's more explosive with power, but Teofimo is very athletic. He is very talented. You got two athletic guys, two talented guys. Again, Teofimo I would favor with the power. This is going to be interesting.
Teddy Atlas praised Shakur Stevenson's showing against William Zepeda, highlighting how he mixed assertiveness with his trademark elusiveness. He pointed out Stevenson's effectiveness both at range and on the inside, along with his ability to manage distance while remaining sharp with counters.
I mean, Shakur showed aggression in his last fight against Zepeda, you know, being elusive while being aggressive. You know, walking them down, fighting on the inside, you know, boxing well, still being able to counter, still being able to control space, but also be able to go into tight quarters and not be afraid to show that he's good on the inside too, that he can make you miss and make you pay outside and inside. Shakur showed that. That was great. That was great, and people applaud him. I applaud him. We were sitting there ringside. I was sitting there actually with your sister, ringside, watching that fight. And it was a terrific performance. Shakur showing that dimension, showing that attitude, showing that competitiveness, showing that dog like people like to show or like to talk about, and they wanted to see in Shakur. Well, they saw it.
Robert Garcia also weighs in on the Stevenson versus Lopez showdown, praising the talent and skill both fighters bring. He notes Lopez's impressive wins and performances, while highlighting Stevenson's pursuit of a historic 4th title as a 3-division champion at a remarkably young age.
Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson getting together. What do you think about that matchup?
That's a great matchup, man. Both fighters are great fighters, very talented. Teofimo has had some great performances, great wins. Shakur is also a 3-division champion, going for his 4th. Unbelievable talent. It's a fight where we're gonna see talent from both, but we also have to see heart. That who has that heart to become the man.
Similarly, Mikey Garcia calls Stevenson versus Lopez a must-watch matchup for boxing fans. He praises both fighters, but highlights Lopez's unpredictability, capable of brilliance against elite opponents like Lomachenko and Taylor, yet occasionally inconsistent. Garcia also notes that facing Stevenson is never easy, as his speed, technical skill, and adaptability make him a formidable challenge for anyone in the ring.
Teofimo Lopez, big fight coming up pretty soon. What do you think about that matchup?
What's up, How you doing, man? Great to see you, brother. Always good to see you.
Happy New Year.
You too.
Great matchup, tough fight. I want to see what Teofimo shows up, because sometimes it's Teofimo, sometimes it's Teofimo, the great fighter who beat Lomachenko, who beat Taylor. That's a tough Teofimo. But then we've also seen him, in off nights.
Right.
And so that's kind of the only question that I have. Which Teofimo's gonna show up.
What do you think he has to do to kind of deal with a guy like Shakur Stevenson? How would you approach a fighter like Shakur Stevenson if you were Teofimo Lopez with the attributes that he has?
I would think Teofimo, being that technically he's a bigger fighter.
Boxing analyst Okoye also expects the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson bout to unfold as a high-level chess match where discipline ultimately outweighs explosiveness. He acknowledges Lopez's speed, power, and athletic unpredictability, but argues those weapons only make a difference if Teofimo can maintain consistent pressure across all 12 rounds.
I look at it as a fight that I'm interested in due to the fact that, depending on who dominates their portion of the fight, that's how that fight will go. I don't think it's going to end in a knockout. I think it's going to go 12 rounds for sure. But it depends on how the first 6 rounds goes, you know what I mean? Because I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Teo in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Teo can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Teo, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down, and then when Shakur starts to open up, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight?
Okoye envisions Shakur Stevenson gradually taking control by making Teofimo Lopez miss and punishing him with clean counters and sharp combinations. He expects Lopez to have early success if he starts quickly, but believes Stevenson's consistency and ring intelligence will assert themselves as the rounds go on.
I think if Teo comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does that, then Shakur has to fight in the tail end of that fight. Now to make it real interesting. If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Teo looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Teo is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's gonna get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur.
On the other hand, Coach Rel sees Stevenson versus Lopez as one of Shakur's biggest challenges yet. He emphasizes discipline, mental focus, and executing every move with precision. Success, Rel believes, will come down to how well Stevenson controls the tempo, forces Lopez to fight on his terms, and turns aggression into openings for sharp counters.
We all been seeing you working with Core. I think this is y'all second camp together? Second camp together?
One joint got hurt.
What's your thoughts on that fight? Probably the biggest name that he's seen so far.
Bro, the dude just know how he got the Floyd Mayweather effect. He know how to make you fight his fight. What I don't want him to do is go in there with the mindset like he did with his last fight. You know what I'm saying? Trying to prove something to somebody, to all these people that's going to buy a ticket to the next fight, no matter if he win boring or if he win.
Furthermore, Greg Hackett views Teofimo Lopez as a major threat, pointing to his speed, power, explosiveness, and unpredictability. He notes that Lopez's athleticism and instincts allow him to create danger at any moment, even if everything isn't technically perfect, and highlights his history of rising to the level of elite competition. With boxing's unpredictability, Hackett believes Lopez can never be ruled out. Still, he ultimately sides with Shakur Stevenson, favoring his consistency, discipline, and ability to control a fight over the distance.
There is thoughts sometimes that cross my brain, like, damn, what if Teo catch him like real good though? You know what I mean? And hurt him. Or what if he just out hustling? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of shit that crossed my mind, but I still like Shakur for the dub. I like Shakur for the dub because he knows how to win. Like, he knows how to win. You know what I'm saying? And he's always prepared to win. So, and I think Shakur respects Teo to the point where he gonna train like he's never trained before, because this is a great fight for him. This is probably the best fight of his career up to date. Even though he's been in some great fights, this is probably the best opponent. You know what I mean? And Teo, same for Teo. So when it's like that, when you put Magic and Bird together, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of situation it is. Magic Johnson was nice, but Larry Bird was nice. Put them together, you get a nice game. I mean, so you put these two together, you get a nice fight.
Gary Antoine Russell sees the Stevenson versus Lopez fight as a true 50-50. He emphasizes that both fighters bring elite-level confidence and skill, mental strength that's essential at this stage of boxing. Russell highlights Teofimo's natural strength, athleticism, and boxing IQ as factors that could give him an edge, especially if he applies pressure smartly. When disciplined, Teo's power and physical tools have the potential to turn the fight in his favor.
It's 50-50. You know, in order for you to participate in this sport, you gotta have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has a high level of confidence, Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur, I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter. You know, I'm not saying that he's a square or he's just a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned, he's poised. I feel like mentally he's more mature. Like, he don't go outside of the boundaries on taking risks. So a lot of times you'll see him fight somebody that could be stiff competition, and it'll wind up being a boring fight to a degree. You know, that's why everybody was criticizing him for, oh, he's a boring fighter. He's a careful fighter.
Bozy Ennis praises Shakur Stevenson as a fighter whose skill transcends weight classes. He points out that Stevenson has already outboxed bigger opponents, even those close to light heavyweight, with apparent ease. Ennis believes moving up is the right decision, confident that Stevenson's movement, ring control, and boxing IQ allow him not just to cope with larger fighters, but to impose his style and dominate at a higher weight.
I see Shakur box big guys, light heavyweights and all that stuff. Just like Boots, you know, he box heavyweights and put heavyweights down. You know what I mean? I think that's the right move for him. You know what I mean? Get up, and I think he can really do good at that weight.
Meanwhile, Bruce Carrington spots Teofimo Lopez's main weakness against Shakur Stevenson, handling constant movement. While Lopez is explosive and athletic, Shakur's footwork, patience, and defensive mastery could frustrate him. Past fights show Lopez struggles when he can't plant his feet, so his success depends on staying composed and adapting to Stevenson's elusive style.
I feel like Teo is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. You know, he has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? You know, we've seen, you know, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, you know, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, you know, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
However, Oscar Valdez highlights how Shakur Stevenson frustrates and controls his opponents. He explains that Stevenson's technical, patient style, mastering distance, tempo, and rhythm, prevents others from imposing their own game. Valdez compares facing Stevenson to a chess match, stressing that fighters must stay patient and avoid frustration, as Shakur forces them to fight on his terms rather than theirs.
Someone like Shakur Stevenson, like I said, you know, it's easier said than done with a fighter like that, because, you know, it's not like he's too back from you. He's just right there in your face, and once you throw, he just rocks back a little bit and touches you. Then it becomes very frustrating. Then when you start loading up, then he does it again. He starts loading up in his shots, but just outboxing you. So I would just say, it's like I said, it's a tough one for me to pick who will come out victorious. That's why I go with the 50-50 fight.
What was like the most frustrating thing? You mentioned, you know, Teo has to stay focused. He can't get frustrated. I remember watching your fight against Shakur there live. It seemed that you were getting a little bit frustrating. Like, what was the most frustrating thing you think happened in that, like, Teo, I guess, can expect?
Well, I mean, me and Teofimo are completely different fighters. You know, Teofimo is more of a fighter. Like, he's a ring generalship. He's in there thinking. He's calm. He's having fun.
Popular boxing YouTuber Wade calls this matchup a huge win for the sport, emphasizing that fights like this are exactly what boxing needs. He points out that both fighters could have taken safer paths, but chose to face each other, raising the stakes. Wade adds that matching elite talent not only pushes the sport forward, but also creates bigger opportunities for both men, with the spotlight benefiting them no matter who wins.
Don't realize about making best versus best fights. For the most part, only good can come from this. I'm going to knock on wood when I say that, because I don't want to have one of these fights where we get a stinker performance or anybody. But when the pressure is this high, when the stakes are this high, and you get this kind of opportunity, it will compound interest, even sometimes for the loser as well. This is why you look at MMA and you look at the UFC, and they have guys with 10 losses, 5 losses, you know, 12. Some people that you would never think are going to compete for a championship, and maybe they don't even compete for a championship, but they're in interesting fights that people want to watch. Doing fights like this makes Teofimo Lopez, makes Shakur Stevenson a bigger name, and therefore, after this fight, they get bigger and bigger fights, and more people get invested into their fights because they know, hey, those two guys will fight the best in the world. Those two guys will go out.
Wade compares the matchup to top-tier UFC bouts, showing how elite fighters stay relevant and exciting even after setbacks. He explains that facing the best opponents generates buzz and keeps fans invested. In this fight, both Lopez and Stevenson elevate their profiles, with every exchange and round carrying high-stakes drama that could open doors to even bigger opportunities for both athletes.
They're talking to each other through Chris. I love that type of stuff, because what Teo's saying is true. Like, for him to go to the next level in his career, and for Shakur as well, they need to be tested, and they have been, especially Teo. Teo's taken some tough fucking fights. He's beaten Vasily Lomachenko, beaten Josh Taylor, beaten Arnold Barboza. Like, these are I mean, Sandor Martin was a tough test as well. But my point is, this is how you get better. And this is why it frustrates me that guys won't take tough fights until they're 25-0 sometimes. And he's talking about Shakur's lateral movement, talking about how good he is as a boxer. This is, again, win or learn, in my opinion. Not that the stakes don't matter, not that wins and losses don't matter, but how are you ever going to really show your talent level if you aren't competing with the best? And Shakur has the same opportunity. This is Shakur's toughest test, no doubt about it.
So, after breaking it all down from today's video, who do you think comes out on top? Shakur Stevenson or Teofimo Lopez? Share your predictions in the comments and let us know why you're backing your fighter.